wish this program had existed 2 years ago when our first son was starting solids, because it would have been so helpful and saved me so much time and stress and money, because I feel like I wasted so much food not knowing what I was doing. But I'm so happy that I have this program now for not only for our baby, but also for our toddler, because they're both benefiting from the variety of foods that I'm feeding them based on this meal plan. Rewinding a couple years with our older son, when it was time to start feeding him solid foods, I felt so nervous. I was doing all this research and I didn't know how to introduce allergens like peanut butter and eggs and shellfish. And I knew you were supposed to introduce those early, but I was just so scared too. And I didn't know what I was doing or even how to serve them to him. And I was also a little bit nervous about him gagging and choking and what I would do if he did choke on something, and making sure that I was cutting foods appropriately to where it wasn't a choking hazard for him. And so I researched a lot, but I still felt a little bit nervous and overwhelmed every time I fed him something other than pureed baby food from a jar. I didn't have a plan or a structure to follow, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I was following all these different Instagram accounts about baby-led weaning, and I was so inspired seeing what these babies were eating. But when it came time to plan and prep, I was like, well, what all do I need to have in one meal? And how many times should I feed them? And what should I feed him? And what should I buy at the store? And how should I prepare it in the kitchen? And how long do I cook this? What kind of texture does it need to be safe at this age? And my husband and I enjoy cooking. We like to eat nutrient-dense food and enjoy being creative in the kitchen, but I didn't know how to bridge the gap between what we were eating and what our baby was eating, the pureed baby food. How do you make that jump? And I didn't feel confident in the kitchen anymore, which is not usual for me. I usually love cooking. So I felt like I was piecing together all these different resources, and it felt like a huge burden on me to know what the next meal I should feed him was, and meal planning was just something that I dreaded. And after joining the Baby-Led Feeding Journey program, I now have a clear path of exactly what I need to be feeding him, so I don't have to worry that my baby isn't getting adequate nutrition. And I love that this program was created by a registered dietitian who is also a mom of 2 children. Each day includes a video of her daughter eating the food that she prepared that day. So she shows how mealtime went, and it's really helpful to see her daughter, how she interacts with the food. So that's helpful to see that not every mealtime is going to be they eat everything that they're given, and that it's so normal to throw food. And also she shows what to do or not to do when your child is gagging, and she teaches the difference between gagging and choking, and it's really clear and helpful in the class. And you do get to see video clips of her daughter when she is gagging and she is able to clear her airway, and everything is great. So it's part of the process of learning to have solid foods in their mouth. And so I really valued that, because it put my heart and mind at ease when I saw my son doing similar things. It was cool because throughout the 12-week program, you get to see her daughter growing in her ability to eat food, and you get to see her enjoying different types of food, and she grows with the program. And just like my son was growing with the program, so I could just follow the plan and see a child that was his same exact age and skill level with eating. It was just so cool, the whole process, to see them both growing together in their joy of eating. I also really appreciated how in the plan you are systematically guided through how to introduce the top allergens throughout the 12 weeks. So it's spaced out and intentional. You would know if your child was reacting to a certain food, because it's not all mixed up together or jumbled. It's very intentionally spaced out in a process. That was really helpful for me, because I knew if he had a reaction, I knew exactly what food he would be reacting to. I love that this program is everything in one place. I printed out the meal plans, so you have menu for week 1, and each day, the first day is avocado rolled in hemp seeds, oatmeal, and zucchini. So it tells you exactly what that day is. And then you go to the week 1 grocery, and then there is the meal plan for week 1. You just follow it step by step, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the next week starts. So I loved having these meal plans and just following step by step how she has it laid out. It's so easy to follow. This program has saved me time researching and meal planning, and the grocery lists were so helpful. This is the part that I printed out, but then there's also the online portion that has all the videos of her cooking and the videos of her daughter eating the foods. And she also has resources that are really helpful, and different recommendations that she's found over the years have worked really well with children. So that's helpful to have that too, plus a bunch of other different guides for all the information. Like whenever I had a question, I was like, oh, I bet it's in one of her guides. Plus, now that I have a toddler who's on the go and a baby who's mobile now, I have even less time to meal plan and prepare. So when I do spend time cooking, I love knowing that my sons are getting all the key nutrients that they need. And it's been fun to feed my sons new foods. I'm even learning about new foods like I've never made before and adding them into kind of like our rotation of what we enjoy eating. In this program, she has great ideas for boosting nutrition of foods, and there's so many other tidbits like that that I've learned that make feeding my baby fun and also kind of a creative outlet again. So I feel like I'm coming full circle to loving being in the kitchen, to dreading it, to now I'm loving it again, and that's been really refreshing for me. Meal times are honestly a joy with our youngest. He eats and eats and eats, and now he signs more. So he uses that a lot because he can just, that boy can eat. And our older son is trying and tasting new foods too. And I wish I had had this program with him because I think that he would have much more of a variety that he would like to eat. But he has been trying the new stuff little by little and kind of warming up to the idea of trying more variety. And I just love seeing him explore new foods. So I would highly recommend this class to any of my friends or any parents who are looking for a clear plan. I have looked into other courses online that teach you how to do baby-led weaning, but in this program, what I really like about it is that you actually get to see everything a registered dietitian feeds her own baby girl every single day for 3 months. It's not just like random recipes put together that you have to figure out like the order to feed them in, or introducing allergens and stuff, like figuring that out on your own. It's a complete plan and everything's in one place. It's online and you can also print out the recipes. So it's a complete meal plan and system for 3 months. So you'll learn how to repurpose leftovers or ingredients that you prepared ahead. She teaches you how to do that. So you can cook something and then you can learn how to add variety, and that way you don't end up eating the same things over and over again. I've also found that I waste a lot less food with this plan because I know exactly what I'm gonna be making. Sometimes I go to the grocery store and I'm like, oh, this would be great to roast these veggies and do this and do this. And then by the end of the week, I'm like, oh, everything's going bad and I forgot to make those things. So I love that this is a plan and you just get exactly what you need for the week and that's it. You're not wasting a ton of food and a ton of money. And you get to see how to make everything for your baby and also your family. So it really bridged that gap for me, knowing how to serve one meal for all of us. I feel so much more confident now moving forward, and I'm excited to cook new things for my family and for my kids. Mealtimes are a lot more exciting now, and I don't feel like I'm in a rut anymore, trying to piece together a meal plan each week and defaulting to eating the same foods over and over. I tell my husband all the time that it's so fun to feed our kids, and I never used to say that. Our baby is truly a joy to feed. I can't like keep food on his plate fast enough when that's my review of this program. I've loved it and I wanted to recommend it to you if you feel overwhelmed and stressed by feeding your baby too. I think it's a great investment, and it's just paid off a ton in a ton of different ways in our families. So I'm really thankful to have found it, and I just wanted to share it with y'all.